Introducing new defensive backs coach Ron Milus. Coach, you spent time previously with Gus Bradley with the Raiders and the Chargers, now with the Indianapolis Colts. What works so well with this dynamic between you and Gus Bradley and this defense?
Well, I was going to say earlier that it's not just me and Gus, it's Richard Smith also. The three of us have had a long history now. That time with the Chargers was great, and we were able to bring our show on the road to the Raiders, and now we're here again. The thing about Gus, he's easy to work with. He's probably a better person even than a coach, and he's an outstanding coach. And he's been a guy that we've been able to work very, very closely with, and his style of defense, coupled with what me and Rich bring to the table, gives us a chance.
How does your coaching style complement Gus's coaching style in implementing the defense and leading this defense?
Well, you know what? Gus is always very, very, very positive. Now, every once in a while you got to have a bad guy, good guy. I'm not saying I'm the bad guy, but you've got to have that other guy that will push the players in a different way. Gus has always been very, very positive with our players. And I do the same type of thing, but it's just in a different way. I call it, I paper cut them. And not so much dagger them, but paper cut them.
You need that, right? You need that constructive criticism or feedback in order to improve. Well, one of the things that Gus Bradley pointed out when we had our initial interview with him was this defense has a Pro Bowl player at every position. Kenny Moore II is that guy within that defensive backs group. How does this defensive scheme favor and benefit the group of defensive backs you have, the talent that you have, the skill that you have at that position group?
I think it's going to fit very well. Now, obviously, Kenny is a player that can fit in any type of defense. But the thing about this one, he's going to be able to play with some vision, and we're going to blitz him off the edge as a nickel. We'll play him outside from time to time, especially in the base package. But I think at the end of the day, Yasin, Isaiah, all those guys are going to have a chance to go make plays on the ball because it's going to be vision to break type of defense, but with some pattern match that goes along with it.
You mentioned this experience that you have alongside Coach Bradley and Coach Smith. You're also adding Coach Mitchell in the mix as well. This is his first opportunity after being here in 2018 as a player. What benefit does he bring in that group, and how well will you two work together in balancing and leading this group of D-backs?
Well, it's going to be exciting for him and for me because we get a chance to work together. I think he's very, very bright, and he's going to be one of those guys who's going to be a fast riser in this business. The thing about him, he's going to bring a player's perspective as well as now a coaching perspective. I think he's going to work really, really well with our players. And just the feedback between the two of our players and him is going to help us grow as a team.
Well, familiarity we've talked a lot about, and someone that you're very familiar with is my radio broadcast colleague, Rick Venturi. I texted Rick before this interview. You two coached together in St. Louis. You guys were colleagues there. I know you guys spent some holidays together, and his endorsement said, terrific coach and person, tremendous experience, can push the right buttons, kind of like that paper cutting you were mentioning, is a fundamentalist and a teacher. How well does that describe your style in terms of fundamentals and motivating players, especially with the group you're inheriting?
Pretty close, because the game of football ain't that hard. If you do the same thing over and over again, you have a chance every Sunday. And my job is to get the players to do the same thing over and over again. If we do that, like I said, we have a chance to win every Sunday.
You have a core group of players returning to this defense. How critical will the off-season be, the OTA period, mini-camp period, in terms of installing this defense, putting your fingerprints, especially on this group of defensive backs, to get this team ready to hit the ground running come, not really the regular season, but really in training camp to be where you want to be in the 2022 season?
I think it's going to be very important this off-season because we've got to get to a point where we have what we call Colts talk. Be able to communicate formations, whatever the pass schemes may be. Now, when we get to the season, that drawing on the board and all that kind of stuff that we do in the offseason, we can communicate on the field. If we see a 3-by-1 formation, we know exactly what's going to happen and how we're going to end up playing those calls. So the offseason, especially this offseason with a new staff coming in on defense, is going to be very important.
You've worked with Coach Bradley in a number of stops, Coach Smith as well. Coming into this organization, working with Chris Ballard, Frank Reich, with the group that you have in this locker room, to you, what stands out, the potential that there is within this group?
Well, I will say this, the team is not broke, okay? And the key thing is for us to just come in and be that calming factor, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like you mentioned before, there are very, very good football players here at all levels. And what we need to do just on the defensive side is just be steady during the season and just make sure that we're taking care of our business, especially on those critical downs, red zone and third down, and that gives us a chance anytime during the year.
Coach, certainly appreciate the time. Welcome to Indianapolis, and dinner is on Rick Venturi when he gets back from Florida.
Absolutely. Rick's a good man.